All right, well, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. I am LaGraize. I'm the area manager and the regional sales manager of the Mid-South. It's an honor being with all of you guys here this morning on Title Talk Live. This is our fourth week doing Title Talk Live. We've gotten great input, and this show is really for you. So if you have any input, advice, anything at all, we are wide open. Anything that you want us to speak on. This is great education for you and your staff. What this show, as a reminder, is every week, and we have a live cast Thursdays at 10 a.m., except for the last week of the month. I'm sure all you in Title Land understand that. And this is very interactive. I want all of us to engage. So if you have any input, anything at all, we certainly want to know. Well, I want to welcome Peter and Dan here this morning. They are from Riebling Insurance Agency. And obviously a tremendous need that we all have, we have to have, is insurance, right? So I thought it would be just a great opportunity to meet with them and to talk about insurance. And I'll allow them, and I'll also talk about that we have a special, FNTTG has a special partnership with them, and we'll talk more about that. So I just want to tell you guys, thank y'all very much for being here this morning. Why don't you guys just introduce yourself real quick? Just talk about where you're from and your role.
Sure. Well, first, thank you for having us, Lee.
Sure.
And my name is Dan Riebling. I'm the president of Riebling Insurance Agency. We are based out of New York. I was born and raised in Long Island, New York. That's where our office is, and I continue to live with my family. I run the day-to-day operations of Riebling Insurance Agency. So I'm dealing directly with the title agents, the FNTG title agents, helping them service the existing clients, and also help with the application process, providing quotes to the agents and getting them signed up into the Fidelity Pack program.
Great. All right.
I'm Peter Riebling. I'm Dan's father, obviously, and I'm a consultant to the Riebling Insurance Agency. It's because I'm old,
Right.
and I've been around a long time, and but I've been in the insurance business for 40 plus years,
Yeah.
and basically worked with senior management at FNTG starting back in 2008, trying to put together a comprehensive insurance program for title agents, errors and omissions, and other coverages that have evolved over the period. So, and I basically am available to Dan and his staff on a 24-hour basis for any questions, and also to discuss coverage and claim issues with the agents themselves. So that's my role.
Okay, good. Why don't y'all explain real quick? Most of our agents know, obviously we have some new agents. Why don't you guys explain the partnership that y'all have with FNTG just real quick?
Go ahead.
Sure. So we in 2010 we started with FNTG and providing their agents with title agent E&O. So it's just errors and omissions.
Right.
The program that we have is called the Fidelity Pack program, and it's exclusive to FNTG agents. So if an agent is, you have to have a contract with
Right.
FNTG to be eligible for the program. We use basically the buying power of the Fidelity agents. Their history as being the lowest title policy loss ratios in the industry. We combine both those to provide, or to present, and to get our underwriters to provide the most competitive rates we feel for errors and omissions insurance.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
Anything to add to that? Or?
Well, that was the theory, and basically I was introduced to Erica Meinhardt back in 2008 from the manager in New York, Ted Werner, who happened, he and I used to have sandwiches together in the cafeteria, and finally one day I said, what do you do for a living? And he said, well, I manage Chicago Title in New York, and we started talking, and he was kind enough to introduce me down in Jacksonville, and we went down in 2008 and basically discussed with Erica Meinhardt and her senior staff the idea of using the collective buying power of all 5,000, in those days it was 7,000 or 8,000 agents.
Right, right.
To in effect create product and coverages and pricing that would not be available to them individually. And it was, we worked on it for about a year. The decision was, we liked the idea, but the timing is bad. This was the end of the meltdown.
Right, right.
So I, flew back to New York with my tail between my legs. It was pretty disappointing. But the idea was to stay in touch, and then we went back in 2010, and the decision was, guess what, the timing's right.
Okay.
And we think it's a good idea, and we're going to support it. So it was pretty interesting. It's an interesting proposition, is that basically it's mutual exclusivity. We agreed that we would only offer the product to FNTG agents, and in return, the decision was made that we'll use you as our exclusive manager or vendor partner.
Sure, yeah.
For insurance. So it was a great decision. It's worked beautifully, and I happily can tell you today that Fidelity Pack is a very successful program, and it's a value added to any FNTG agent. So I think we're all very pleased with the results. And
Yeah, and I can speak from my side. Obviously, the field, it's been a great relationship for all of us. Y'all are very accessible, very easy to use, and we'll talk about some of the other benefits as well. What sort of insurances do y'all offer?
Okay, so the Fidelity Pack program consists of title agent, errors and omissions insurance.
Okay, so standard E&O insurance.
And along with that, for attorney agents, we have the lawyer's professional liability.
Okay,
Okay. Now, underneath, those are the two kind of leading policies, and then what we offer them is cyber liability,
okay,
which is a separate policy, an escrow security bond, which
Okay.
is a type of fidelity bond, but it has enhanced coverages to protect, designed specifically for title agents and attorney agents, and the protection of their escrow accounts.
okay. So that would be more about escrow theft.
Correct.
Okay,
Along with that, every year, the underwriters at Lloyd's and ourselves, along with talking with the Fidelity managers and reps, we identify certain coverages that we want to add
right.
each year. So the program's always evolving.
Okay,
We've included a CFPB coverage, and we've included a fraudulent email wire coverage.
okay. So
Those are-
wire fraud.
Yeah, and those are
Okay.
the two. So CFPB was, I think, 2014. Wire fraud was 2015, and now we're going to be gearing up for the next enhancement coming in 2017.
Right. Well, obviously, insurance has been a big part of our industry for at least as long as I've been here, for a long time. How important from y'all, and I know that y'all are the ones that sees claims, y'all see the risks involved, but when we talk about wire fraud, cyber insurance, which historically hasn't really been a part of all this, how important is that? What are the things that you guys are seeing on your end?
well, you're bringing up probably the hottest button in the industry, and also the biggest cause of concern to agents. It's a very misunderstood area.
Okay.
So maybe we'll take a second and
Sure.
I'll try to,
Absolutely. I'd
I'll
love to
try
hear
to
about
clear
it.
this up.
Yes.
There are really two important headings. One is cyber liability and one is cyber crime.
Okay.
And they're kind of viewed interchangeably.
Gotcha.
They're
Okay.
not. Cyber liability and a cyber liability policy basically covers an agent in the event that the personal financial information of a customer is stolen.
Okay.
And the criminal then basically uses that information to charge on credit cards, hit bank accounts, and so on and so forth. So it's a liability coverage for the agent in the event that they're breached, their security is breached,
Oh, okay.
and one of their customers suffers a loss. So it covers its third-party liability.
Okay.
Now, in addition to that, there are some first-party coverages, which is destruction of their data, malware, viruses, covers the equipment all the computer equipment that the agents have in their offices. The second area, that's the big area where the wire fraud comes in, is the crime. It's theft of escrow funds.
Okay.
Now that's covered under the bond, the escrow security bond, computer fraud. And there's two predominant areas where funds are being stolen. One is a hacker, a criminal actually breaks into the agent's systems and
Okay.
diverts funds.
Okay.
So they're stealing the funds, they're diverting it to, basically an account that's typically an offshore account.
Right.
And the monies are in the wind and they're very rarely recovered.
Right.
The second area, which is where the wire fraud comes in, is the criminal tricks the agent or an employee of the agent to wiring money to a fraudulent account.
Okay.
That's the big one. And that's the area now that is absolutely skyrocketing, not just in the title industry, but everywhere. It's probably the largest single increase in fraud and claims that have been reported now to the FBI. They quote, business email compromise
Wow.
coverages. Now, as far as title agents are concerned, it's really a problem because there are a lot of people involved in a real estate transaction that the agents are relying on for information, particularly real estate agents,
Right.
representatives,
Right.
authorized representatives of the seller.
Right.
And what's happening is that instructions are being given, change of instructions that are basically spoofed. There's an email spoof.
Okay.
And someone who's not a legitimate party to the transaction is representing that they are.
Wow.
And they're instructing now the title agent who's holding the escrow funds, they're changing the instructions. It could be a different bank account, it could be, well, we are going to use cashier check, now we want it wired.
Right.
And basically, Infidelity Pack last year, we had roughly 90 claims. 25 of those claims were email wire fraud claims.
Wow.
And the average loss to the agent was in excess of $75,000. So it's an ongoing, growing problem. And in response to that, last year, with our underwriters at Lloyd's, we developed coverages that apply to both the E&O and the bond.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to get too complicated and drag everyone into the weeds, but the fact of the matter is, where are you covered as an agent? Is it your E&O?
Right.
Do you have cyber liability? Do you have a security bond, computer crime bond? Where are you covered? And basically, if you don't have the Fidelity Pack program and you're not covered with these endorsements to both the E&O and the security bond, you're really not covered. What's happening is under the E&O policies, basically everyone in the market has exclusions. They don't want to cover it. It's not priced in.
Okay.
So what's happening, and there's typical exclusion to an E&O policy that says, well, we can deny a claim if you don't safeguard the funds. It's a catch-all.
Right.
So recently, we just got some input from one of our big competitors. They're denying claims using that exclusion under their E&O policy.
Wow.
It's a problem. What we add is we add a rider that says if in fact you're the victim of fraud and someone is able to trick you into changing instructions,
Right.
and you suffer a loss, and there's an action brought against you by the injured party, typically the seller,
Right.
saying it's because of you that the funds were diverted, we're going to cover you on a demand payment basis from a third party under the E&O. The problem with that is most agents, and we've seen two in the last 2 weeks, rather than have a customer sue them, they'll pay the claim.
Wow.
Now, once they pay the claim, there's no injured party other than
Right.
our insured,
Right.
and they can't collect under the E&O.
Wow.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
So we've also added the first party coverage to the escrow security bond that says if in fact you are tricked, we'll pay you directly. And it's a fast track claim where our underwriters, through their claim settling attorneys in Chicago, will reimburse the agent quickly for that loss.
Okay.
Now, it is subject to some requirements,
Sure, yeah.
which is just the standard business practices that are part of Alter and what
Insurance
FNT
coverage,
does.
right,
Say, okay, look, if you've got a change in instructions,
right.
you've got to call.
And you don't follow that, right?
You've got to call to a third party or the person involved in this who's really gave you the original instructions,
Right.
verify the change. It has to be an outbound answered call.
Right.
You can't use the phony phone number or email that's on the spoofed email or the
Right.
tricked email. You got to use a third party, and you got to document your file. If you do that, we're going to cover you for $250,000 under the bond on a direct basis. And in the event that you are brought into an action, we have coverage up to $1 million under the E&O.
Okay.
So it's tricky, it's complicated, but it's important, and it's a growing problem that's
Yeah.
just getting worse.
Yeah, I remember early in the year, for a while, I was getting a call from agents, probably one every other week, about wire fraud stories, and so this is certainly helpful. You know, a lot of my agents have asked, when we've offered this or talked about it, well, do I get a discount being a Fidelity agent? How does all that work as far as cost is concerned? I mean, how would you?
So I think there's a few different ways that we provide discounts. One being, on every quote that we do, we provide it, so it doesn't matter how big an agent is, how small an agent. We're gonna
Okay.
quote your E&O or your professional liability, your cyber liability, and our escrow security bond.
Okay.
And it's like a la carte, so you can pick and choose which coverages you want. If you pick all three, so you purchase the E&O with the cyber liability and the escrow security bond, we're gonna discount your E&O premium up to, say, 25%.
Okay.
So by buying the bundled package, you get, it's like package discount.
Right.
But, you know, some other underwriting factors provide discounts as well. On our application, we'll ask certain questions where, you know, how are you performing your searches? Or is your title underwriter performing the searches, and is it there?
So that matters. That will be helpful.
Right, so if an agent's using, say, Tidal Wave,
Okay.
okay, that's gonna be looked favorably upon by our underwriters, and they will provide a discount, a deviation in the rates reflecting that if there's, you know, that they won't be liable for a search, which where most of the claims come from anyway. So there's certain, you know, there's certain questions on the application, different safeguards that you have on your escrow account.
Sure. Yeah.
All these questions are geared towards providing deviations in the rates depending on how you answer them.
Yeah. Well, and I can confirm, I mean, what I encourage agents when they call me, obviously I give them your information and I'll talk a little bit about you guys and the relationship that we have with y'all. And then I'm like, look, call them, do a comparison, and for the most part, what I've been hearing over the years is as far as price is concerned, y'all are absolutely lower.
That's good.
So that benefits everybody. That's a concern of everyone. So what is the best way to get a hold of you? Now I know I wasn't gonna, I didn't give y'all a heads up that I was gonna ask y'all this, but I know that y'all have a new website.
Yes.
Do you guys remember what the what the www, where's that site at?
So it's www.rieblinginsurance.com.
Rieblinginsurance.com.
RIEBLING insurance.com. You can go there, view our products or services,
Okay.
contact information there. You can always call me at 516-280-6761. And if you want my email address and so forth, it's all on the website.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys for joining us this morning. I think this will be very helpful to our audience, to the agents out there. And once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to Title Talk Live. Y'all know how to get a hold of these guys if y'all have a need. Highly encourage you to. With that, hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you back next week. Bye-bye.